Hello! Welcome to a new episode of BoAi's Slow English. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about what it's like to be a Korean American living in the United States. If we have not met before, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Bo. Hi! Welcome to my channel. My goal is to help you to feel confident when you are speaking English, and I normally speak slowly like this so that it's easy for you to understand. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you will already know who this is. Louie, come on. Move your butt out of the camera. There you go. He just woke up from a nap. So he's a little bit sleepy. I'm sure he will get really hyper soon. Hyper is like, a lot of energy. Before we get started on this topic, please like my video to show your support, and please click subscribe so that we can be friends. And I need to remove this cat hair from my lip. So, being a Korean American in America wasn't always easy, especially because when I was younger, where I lived, it wasn't super diverse. Diverse means there were not many different cultures. I mostly had non-Korean friends. I still am best friends with a Korean person, but most of my friends were not Korean. Truthfully, part of the reason is because I wanted to be accepted as an American. I also, just like you, wanted to be able to speak English with confidence. My family and I, my brother, mom, and dad, we all immigrated here from Korea. I was only a 1-year-old. So within my household, we only spoke Korean until I entered elementary school, which is preschool, kindergarten, first grade. Well, there's also second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. But in my early years of elementary school, I was enrolled in ESL, English Speakers of Other Languages. Where I'm from, we called it ESOL. So I took ESOL probably in kindergarten and first grade. And I distinctly remember the moment when I graduated from ESOL. It was a proud moment, although after graduating from this program, I had to continue learning English by speaking, listening, reading, writing. Lucky for me, I was fully immersed in the American English language. Immersed means to always be surrounded by. So of course, yes, it will be easier for me to learn English compared to you, my friends who live abroad, but I'm here to make it easier. Being a Korean American when you're that young in the early 90s was difficult because you wanted to feel accepted. I remember when my mom would pack my lunch and she would put Korean food in my lunch bag. I will tell you some names of these dishes, but it probably will not be correct in the subtitles. So, of course, there's kimchi, which is fermented cabbage, and it stinks. Americans at the time had no idea what that was. I would have a side of rice, probably some Korean beans, and all these other side dishes. There's a rice roll that looks like sushi, but it's only vegetables. Inside the roll, there was spinach, probably eggs, rice, of course, maybe mushroom, carrots, radish, maybe a little bit of sesame oil, and all of this would be wrapped with a seaweed paper, and then it would get cut into round slices. So I would eat that probably with a side of kimchi. My peers, who are the students in my grade, all thought I was weird and this was not accepted. So I think I may have asked my mom to stop packing that. I do remember when I was younger, I ate something called Lunchables a lot. Lunchables are pre-packaged deli ham or turkey with cheese and crackers. This is not healthy, but that's what everyone else was eating. Or they ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Or on days when my mom could not pack my lunch, I would purchase lunch and I would stand in the lunch line looking at the food thinking, ugh, that looks so not yummy. The lunch ladies there had a card with the names of all the students who were purchasing lunch. I remember, and I will never forget, this one lunch lady, instead of calling me Bo when she read my name, she called me Boo. I will never forget that. And in my head, I thought, where did you get Boo? Like, there's famous people actually with the first name Bo, like Bo Derek, the actress. She's famous. This lady should know who Bo Derek is. But she called me Boo. I guess the reasoning for why she pronounced my name as Boo is because the word T-O is two. So B-O is Boo, right? So nowadays, when I'm on the phone with some customer service representative and they say, "Can I have your first name, please?" I'll say, "It's Bo, B like boy, O like Bo Derek." And usually they understand. But yeah, back in the day, my name was difficult, apparently. In 4th or 5th grade, I was in a clique. A clique is a group of people. And in this clique were, I think, 4 other girls. And we wanted to be like Spice Girls, the British pop band. So we dressed up for my birthday as the Spice Girls. And this was my very first time having a birthday party ever in my life. They came over my house, and instead of ordering pizza or burgers or donuts, my parents set up Korean food. But my friends were so curious about it. We sat on the floor with a short table like a lot of Koreans do. And they thought, this is so different from what I do at home, what I eat at home. They actually liked the Korean food. Surprisingly, I was shocked. At first, I felt anxious that they had to experience my culture. And then I realized, wow, this is so great. This is their first introduction to my culture. I wanted to embrace and become more of an American because at the time, that's what I thought was needed to be accepted. Although my parents wanted me to go to Korean school at church, where I would learn the Korean alphabet and speak Korean, I refused. Refused means I did not want to go. However, my mom compromised with me, which means because I didn't go to Korean school, she said I have to at least learn the alphabet with her and to be able to read it easily. So I studied with my mom and I still know how to read Korean. I know how to write Korean. However, I don't know what I'm reading or writing sometimes. And actually, writing in Korean is extremely difficult. I still get confused when I'm writing a birthday card to send to my parents. I get some of the characters, the vowels, and the consonants mixed up. But luckily, I can use Google Translate. Back then, I refused to go to Korean school. I now regret not going because now I want to be more in touch with my Korean culture. Living in LA really helps you to want to embrace your culture and your differences and individuality. Individuality is a difficult word. Try saying that 5 times. And what's really cool about LA or Los Angeles is there's Koreatown. We call it K-Town for short. And I used to work in a K-Town salon for hair. Everyone that I worked with, there were probably at least 20 employees. They were from Korea and recently. So their English wasn't so good. Oh my gosh, I'm just remembering. I was trying to teach them English. I was an English teacher when I worked in K-Town. I totally forgot. The interesting thing is, when I would say something in English, they would ask me, does it always sound monotone? Anything you say in English sounds really monotone. Monotone, let's break this word up into 2 parts. Monotone. Mono is one, tone is the sound. So what they were saying is, from their observation, the English language sounds not interesting based on the tone. And I notice that too now. If you watch Korean shows ever, the tone of Koreans is a little exaggerated, but it's fun to listen to. Actually, I would like to know, in your culture, how does the tone sound? Is it monotone, like American English? Or is it more enthusiastic, like Korean? And I spoke about this in a recent live stream, how I learned a lot of different formal phrases in Korean that I realize is so different from what I spoke growing up, because I only knew casual informal Korean. So it was a great opportunity for me to learn with the Koreans. I tried to learn Korean. I had 2 tutors. Unfortunately, I could not keep up with my lessons because life got busy. YouTube got busy. I would like to go back to it, although both of the teachers, I think, were a little bit confused on what level I am. When I speak Korean, I can sometimes sound like a 4-year-old, and sometimes I can sound like a 15-year-old. My level is all over the place. So I think for me right now, the best way that I can get in touch with my culture is by watching Korean shows. I prefer the reality shows, the reality TV shows, compared to the dramas. The dramas are too dramatic for me. Of course, I try to eat Korean food as much as I can. I want to go to Korea soon with my parents. I like to chat with my Korean subscribers. Surprisingly, I was looking at the analytics, the statistics of my live streams, and I have the most Korean subscribers viewing my live streams. And the reason why I'm surprised is because it's like 1 or 2 a.m. over there when I'm doing these live streams. So thank you so much for staying up. Of course, thank you to everyone else. I'm not trying to single them out. I love all of you, so thank you. So for anyone who plans to come out to the United States to move here, because I know some of you have a goal in mind to move here to speak English well, do not get rid of your accent. Keep your accent. Embrace who you are, where you came from, your culture. Even if your English is fluent, keep your accent. Just because you have an accent doesn't mean you're not fluent. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about my upbringing and my culture. If you would like to sound like a native English speaker, I have several ebooks. The link will be below. I have a new slang series at a special price right now. It's about love and relationships, workplace slangs, and everyday slangs. So get your copies today. The link is below. And also, if you really value my videos, if you really love it, you can join my YouTube membership. It will allow you to have early access to my videos. And also, I like to communicate with my members in private YouTube posts. I hope you have a wonderful day. Share this with any of your friends who are also on an English learning journey, and I'll see you next time. Bye!